Well, I guess that's one way to start off the episode. How's everyone doing today? I myself am quite excited because I've got quite the agenda. And there's a little bit of prep involved, which is why I'm digging up the bedrock around the end portal. Alright, let's hope I did this right this time. All we gotta do is get in here and... Hey, it worked! Alright, so it just takes a bunch of attempts. So why is the bedrock around the end portal going bye-bye? It's because we're making ENXO4's gravity duper. Not completely sure how it works. Something to do with gravity blocks flying through portals or whatnot. And then in the future we can build a custom ring around here, which might look pretty cool. So yeah, I need concrete because we're gonna build a big box. And then I'm gonna live in that box, out here in the end. Just me, where we should have no interruptions, no phantoms, and no sunlight. It's gonna be great. But first we have to get some materials. Blocks, leaves, redstone, fences, torch. And bam, got all the items we need, and now we're off. And actually this farm is so simple, all the resources fit in my inventory. This is a design by ENXO4, and now it's time to build it. Well, look at that, the duper works. Oh gosh, that duped a lot of stuff really fast. So I dug this hole in the ground where all the blocks are gonna go, and it leads down here where the collection system's gonna be. And this duper works because the spawn chunks are always loaded, so we can have a TNT collection system here while we AFK in the end. So now I gotta build that. Okay, this is another really short time lapse, not enough time for music, so instead I have one guitar chord for you. If you can figure out what it is, then I'll give you nothing. Okay, and that should be the duper done. So when the concrete goes to the end, it lands exactly on this coordinate and goes all the way down this hole and onto this block. The water in these waterlogged leaves are going to turn the concrete into blocks. Then when it hits this wall right here, it's going to send a signal to the pistons to push everything forward. And then as you see, there's a TNT duper up there, which will explode all of our blocks. And hopefully eventually they'll end up in this water stream and get collected down here. And I know some people might not like the idea of duping items, so all I have to say to you is go play your own Minecraft world. With that said, let's test and make sure it works. So all I have to do is put the falling block of my choice in these 5 slots, and then activate this lever, and that should start the farm up. And I'm just gonna wait here for a minute, and then we can go check the overworld and see if this worked. But if we go to the world spawn, we should hopefully see a couple chests worth of items. And wow, this is from just a minute or 2 of collecting. And holy cow, we've already got so much. Over a full inventory's worth. In fact, this thing is so fast, I'm probably gonna have to add some extra storage. I'm now building some shulker loaders by Borkon. They're pretty easy to make and basically just put all of our items into shulker boxes. And I guess I should explain, if you clicked on this video, you probably already know we're building a box today. But I wouldn't be surprised if you still had some questions, such as why are you building a giant box? Or how? Well, I guess the how is pretty obvious. I'm just gonna place a bunch of blocks. I'm just gonna place a bunch of blocks down. That sentence took way too long to say. But the why is gonna have to wait until I actually build the thing, which will just be a few minutes for you, but perhaps several days for me. We do have to make one small adjustment to Borkon's original design. I added some barrels with shovels in them instead of the original redstone blocks, so if I need to fill the shulker box with more than one item, that is now possible. For every different item that I'm putting in the shulker box, I should just be able to move one shovel and then the system should keep working. Otherwise the box would never fully fill up. It also means I gotta fill all these things up with a bunch of spoons though. And that should be the final one right here. And then just fix the redstone. 7. Okay, now the machine should be all ready to go. And now there's really nothing left to do but turn this farm on. So let's turn this farm on, go AFK for a bit, and see how we do. I am back, and well, we overdid it. As you can see, there are a lot of shulker boxes here. I may have AFK'd a little bit longer than I intended, and we got a lot of concrete now. The next thing we need is a light source, and that's why I'm up here above the Guardian farm. And while we wait for that, I'm going to play around with some new mods I got. This is complementary shaders and it looks amazing. The weapons on my back are YDM's Weapon Master, and I'm swiveling around here with better third person camera. But my favorite mod out of the bunch is Bobby Mod. This allows you to uncap your render distance and just see really far. Another mod you might have heard of for seeing really far is Distant Horizons, but I think Bobby Mod takes the case as far as resolution goes at these long distances, which is because Bobby Mod caches chunks at full scale versus Distant Horizons, which uses level of detail, which I find a little distracting. This does mean, however, that Bobby Mod is pretty resource intensive. But come on, look at that render distance. Let's see how far we can take it. Let's crank this baby all the way up. Bobby Mod and Distant Horizons both cache chunks, which means you actually have to fly to them, which is a little annoying. But look at this render distance. This is 256 chunks, and I can see all the way to my base. If we look at the map, that's over 3,000 blocks. That is insane. Those are spawn chunks over there. Obviously, at this render distance, my FPS is dying, but this is an incredible Minecraft experience. And my game crashed about 5 seconds after that last clip. Okay, let's look and see what is going on here. Definitely starting to overflow. I've got some crafters down here making lanterns and prismarine, and it looks like things have started to craft. I'm guessing this will be enough. I hope we don't have to come back. And now that we've got all the materials, it's time to head home. And to make sure we're even more protected from the outside world, it's finally time to put a roof over our base. May I present to you the box. Yep, that's a box all right. The build is done, or at least this section of it. And no, it's not gonna stay like this. The point of this box is that it's gonna be a big canvas. So as I build farms and sections of this base, we'll work on the box little by little and flesh out little tiny designs all over it until hopefully it looks like a cool space anomaly straight out of Star Wars or Alien or something along those lines. But this is going to be a huge project, and it's not something I plan on getting done anytime soon. With that said, we are going to start working on some little bits in this episode. And the idea of the box itself is to be some sort of alien laboratory. And I guess that makes me an alien, so there's that. But right now the box is looking a little empty, so we're going to get started on the first project, building some infrastructure in the form of a bamboo farm. It's a pretty simple design. We're basically going to make a big platform of bamboo and have minecarts underneath collecting all of it as it gets chopped down by a flying machine. Oh, I forgot to light this place up. I hate Enderman. And now I'm placing all the rails that we need for the hopper minecarts. Okay, so the next part of the recording crashed, so I'm going to do a crash course on what happened and what we designed. So we had a rail line that went like this, and let's see, we had a hopper that went like this, and we wanted to get the minecarts to go over the hopper and deposit all the items, and then we wanted the minecart to stop or go depending on if it had items or not. So this is a pretty standard design, and basically what happens is we had a minecart and it was putting items into this hopper, so we read the hopper with a comparator, negated it, and then used that output to power the rail that the minecart is sitting on. So once it runs out of items, or actually more likely when this hopper runs out of items, it'll power this rail and the minecart will go and continue going. Next, we wanted the hoppers to go straight into a crafter with a bunch of bamboo. And where is bamboo? There it is. And then when the crafter filled all the way up with bamboo, we wanted to craft that into a block, poof it into the second crafter that would then take these blocks and build bamboo planks. And we did that by taking the output of the first crafter and saying, when this output is 9, that means that all the slots are filled up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And you can see that right now it's 9. If I take an item out, then it's 8, and so on. And this observer reads whenever the output changes. So we want to make sure this output only changes when there is a signal strength of 9. So what we can do is set another crafter to 8, So this one will always be 8 until there are 9 items in here, and then the observer will detect that change. And then we can read that observer with this observer, put that comparator back, put a thingy here that will power both crafters, and then when this becomes 9, it'll power both crafters, which just will then craft the bamboo block, and then the bamboo block will go into here, and then since that crafted something, the strings will go back down to 8, which the observer will detect again, and power both of these again, and the block of bamboo will then craft into bamboo planks, as you kind of just saw. And this design will work because there are no other crafting recipes with bamboo in this configuration, so we don't have to worry about this thing getting powered and crafting something random, and then not doing the, and then this one won't be able to crafting thing, and blah 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 blah. You get the idea. Let's go back to the video. So I actually did find the footage of me recording this, but I also recorded the other segment, so I can't not include it. I guess we'll just skip ahead a little bit. So all the crafted items should eventually land this barrel, but now we actually have to build the farm. And it's basically just a bunch of grass with bamboo on top. While the bamboo grows, let's build the flying machine. Just need an observer here, and then another one right here, facing up as well. Replace these blocks with non-sticky blocks. Finally, we have to build some return stations, and then we should be able to delete that. And then when I dig up this block right here, the flying machine should start. And there it goes. Oh, and I built this return station in the wrong spot. Should be an easy fix. Just gotta place this observer, and the farm is on its way. Powering the return station will let us turn the farm off. And let's see if that, wow, is it gonna work? Hey. It turns out bamboo needs a lot of light to grow, and so I added a bunch, and it looks like some of it's still not growing. So I'll probably mess around with that a little bit. But the farm is functional. And let's see what kind of drops we got. That is not bad at all. And it's finally time to add some details to the outside of the box. We need to cover up this bit of the bamboo farm. And then I was thinking we could build a little walkway around the outside so we can look in at the bamboo and also see out into space. And I've got this general shape for the walkway. It might not stay exactly the same. I gotta raise the floor a little bit over here to hide the redstone. That should be okay. We can add a little control panel up here, which means I gotta dig some more stuff up, but that shouldn't be too much of a problem. Gotta make a couple different versions of this thing. I'm not really sure what material to use, but I think the quartz does look the best. I do like the dirtier look of the diorite, so I'll probably throw some of that in here and there as well. It gives it that more kind of grimy, well-worn look. And that's kind of the feel I want. I want this to feel like it was once a super clean, futuristic ship, but as time went on, it's gotten a lot of battle scars. And I just had an idea which requires me to get popped coarse fruits. Luckily we're already in the end, and these things are everywhere. Collecting some coarse flowers as well for the sorting system. And then I can use the super smelter to get all the popped coarse fruit. Oh, I wanted to save one of those. Too late. So I just added coarse flowers to the sorting system, and I noticed ender dragon eggs are in here as well. So I think we're gonna go on a real quick tangent and dupe some dragon eggs. And it's actually super easy. All you gotta do is put some fences below the end portal, and then we should be able to drop these guys from up high. Unless I just missed the fence. Attempt number 2. And there we go. Don't mind me just getting a couple more dragon eggs. Oh my god, that should be plenty. That's a lot of dragon eggs. And the pop coarse fruit is also done, so I'm gonna go put these in the sorting system real quick, just like that. And now we've got end rods. Alright, I've extended the hallway to the full length of the bamboo farm, and I don't think I'm going to do that much texturing today, but I would like to add some details to make this feel a little bit more worn and also connected to the main part of the building. I've been experimenting with some of the other blocks, and I think this looks kind of cool. Kind of like a little streak of dirt or grime or something or other. And so yeah, as I said before, this is supposed to be some sort of space station or ship, and we're just gonna keep building bits and pieces off of this thing every time we have a new project, until hopefully it looks like something right out of Alien or Star Wars. And I think building it over time and in chunks will add to the feeling that it's kind of put together and kind of junky. One thing I read recently is that Star Wars kind of changed the way movies portrayed space travel. If you look at Star Trek or Space Odyssey, the ships are always portrayed as sleek and new, but then Star Wars kind of introduced this feeling of, I don't know how to describe it, not that. Take the Millennium Falcon, for instance, it looks like it was just put together from scrap parts. And then of course since then, that kind of ship design has become pretty mainstream. But anyway, that's the kind of look I'm going for. And I'm trying to do the styling not too random. I want to make it look like little streaks or pockets of stains and things like that are coming off these walls. And I'm happy with that. I feel like it might be missing something, but I can't really place my finger on it. I'm standing here above the bamboo farm because I added some more lights to it, and I think it's working now. The bamboo plants are definitely growing. And now real quick, I'm gonna throw something together for the back of this build, but I really wanna get to the next crafting project. So we'll finish this up in a future episode. And I didn't get to finish this section just yet. We'll have to come back to that because I really want to get on to the next build and finish up this bamboo farm. You see, we have a lot of bamboo planks. There's a lot of items you can make with these planks, such as barrels and chests and fence gates. Mainly just chests and barrels, but I want that to all happen automatically. Did something just break? What the? I can't click on these redstone comparators. What the heck? Hello? I can remove everything else? What is going on here? What? I need those comparators. I wonder if I can empty them out with a hopper. Okay, they're coming out, and I still can't select them. Oh wait, I can select them. What is going on? Okay. I got all the comparators back. I can pick them up. This slot is just glitched. The second slot. And in the hopper too, I think. Yeah, what is going on? Is it a mod I'm using maybe? What is going on? If anyone has any idea what just happened there, I'd really appreciate if you're letting me know. Okay, we're just gonna pretend that issue doesn't exist and work around it a little bit. So the idea is to create some sorters and have the bamboo come all the way in like this. Okay, I haven't relogged, I haven't done anything, but the slot seems to have fixed itself. So I guess we'll just pretend that never happened. Anyway, these are a bunch of item sorters. They are the double speed variants. And the idea here is to have a system where we can send items out to crafters. For instance, bamboo planks are going to come down from the bamboo farm and there's going to be a spot in storage for them. And then somewhere along the line, we're going to have a crafter that uses bamboo and it's going to request bamboo from the storage system. And then the storage system will automatically send out bamboo to whatever crafter needs it. Then once that item is crafted, it'll come back into the storage system. And when the storage system for that item is full, it'll turn off the crafter and stop crafting stuff. Hope that makes sense. Otherwise, we're gonna build it right now, so hopefully it'll make sense after. And it is now time to build the thingy that will automatically craft the items. So what's gonna happen is I wanna have a water stream come and bring the items to the crafter like this, and then have some items go into hoppers like this, which will feed the crafter, and then we'll have a clock underneath that spews them out into a different water stream and returns them. And I would have them both going into the same water stream, except in my testing, items kept getting stuck in the hoppers, which was super annoying. All right, we've got a clock. It's going, and every time this torch powers on, it will power the hopper, I mean the crafter, and it's time to allow enough items from the hoppers to refill the crafter so it doesn't run out of items. That is so satisfying. Oh, I really need this sorting system to be done soon because I am having a lot of trouble finding my items. I didn't put glass on this light, and as you see, the sugarcane loves to get stuck. Alright, fixed that problem, now we're back to this problem. And of course I forgot to actually get the wood that I went to go get. Back again. So here's the thing, planks are gonna flow all along this thing and get picked up by the hoppers. And right now this crafter is just on a clock and it's just gonna produce these items until it runs out of planks, which is not good because then the other items can get into the hoppers, and then once those items get into the crafter, everything is gonna go wrong. So what we can do is take the comparator output from these hoppers and then compare that to a signal strength of 14, which would equate to almost being full. And then if we negate that output, we can get when one of these hoppers is not completely full. And if it's not, then we can turn off the clock just by adding a static lit signal somewhere on the clock path. So right now the clock is off because there aren't enough items in this hopper, but when I put more items in, it shoots them out. Pretty cool. And I believe from just bamboo planks, there are 19 items that you can craft, excluding tools and bows and unstackables that I don't really need to craft. So now I'm just going to extend this water stream and then build this thing out another 18 times. Okay, and that is all the crafters done. All the modules are in place. As you see, we got a little water stream that will return all the crafted items to the storage system. And I think this is a pretty neat little design. I'm sure there are smaller and faster designs out there, but I'm happy with what we got. All the items are going to flow up here to this water elevator, and they will return right to the storage system. And now the next thing we have to do is come up with an item delivery system. There are a few different items that need to be sent. Obviously bamboo planks, but also sticks and slabs and bamboo mosaics. So I'm just going to put hoppers underneath of where their storage locations are with droppers attached to them. And we're just going to have them drop and dispense stuff whenever there is a signal sent over to them to do so. Let's just make these droppers double speed and then build some observer clocks around the back to power them. Now, if we give this a signal, the dispensers should start firing. Time to put all the filters in the item sorters. And then we need to configure the crafters to the item we want and then send signals from the hoppers to the storage system when the hoppers need items. This is where things get messy. I think we're just going to have a bunch of wires that go back and forth between the hoppers and the storage. I could try and spend some time trying to come up with a clever solution, but I think this works perfectly fine. So we can just hijack this redstone torch that we're already using to read the hopper output and send that signal to the appropriate dropper. Okay, and now I've hooked up each hopper to the item that they need. Brown is planks, green is slabs, red is mosaics, and purple is sticks. Wait, no, purple is slabs, green is sticks. I'm already confused, but as you see, each redstone line is hooked up to a dropper, which will just continuously drop items into the water stream that will get delivered to the hoppers. And it is kind of a first come first serve kind of thing. The methodology here is just to drown the hoppers in items because we don't really know how full they are. We just know that they are not completely full. And the solution I've come up with is to just dump a bunch of items on top of them and basically guarantee that they fill up. And then the excess items will just go around the loop and return in the storage system. Another perhaps flaw is that crafters closer to the storage system will get items first, and so they will start crafting stuff way before crafters at the end of the line. But eventually items will reach all the crafters, and once the storage chests start filling up and turning off certain crafters, this shouldn't be an issue. But that's not all, it gets even sloppier. As you see here, I have an array of comparators reading the output of the chest, and these are here to tell the crafters to stop crafting when the chests have enough items in them. Which means every single one of these comparators has to be routed to its respective crafter, and yeah, things are gonna get messy, so you might want to close your eyes for this one. Well, things have been done. There is no going back now. I guess there's nothing left to do but show you the mess that is this wiring. Oh my gosh. This took so long. About halfway through, I realized that I had hooked up the crafters wrong and they're all offset by 1. And then I had to rewire everything. And oh boy, I just hope it works. So yeah, for each of these comparators, I had to send a signal down to the bottom of the crafter where there is a torch underneath which turns off the clock. It looks fun. We'll just say that. It looks fun. It wasn't fun. It looks fun. But on the bright side, the farm should finally be finished. All that's left to do is hook up the bamboo farm to the input. So these first 2 chests over here are for the bamboo planks. So we're just gonna send a signal all the way over to the flying machine over there when these chests are empty. Just some more crazy wiring. And under my feet here, you can see the final wiring for the flying machine. When planks are needed, it'll send a signal this way, which will come up here and turn on the flying machine. And it will also complete the minecart circuit, which will allow the minecarts to start going off. And the minecarts have a little pulse delay, so that even when you shut the system off, the minecarts will continue to sweep for a little while longer to pick up any spare bamboo. And now the system should be running, and look at that! We already crafted a stick! Oh my god! This is so exciting. Look at that, things are actually being crafted. And I have to say, this has been a very productive week on the server. The box has taken shape and will be our new base of operations. We've added some more items to the item sorter. I also added dragon heads, and I don't think there's any way to farm them, so I added them to the single hopper speed storage. On top of that, our base now has a functioning bamboo farm. We started to add some details to the box, and inside of it, not only is there a storage system, but also a fully functional automatic crafting system. And unfortunately, that's all I have time for right now. So I'm gonna AFK here at the crafter, and I'm very excited to see how many items this thing can produce. But you guys are gonna have to wait till next episode to see, because I am all out of time. Goodbye.